Hello there, it's Critical. It's time to have a look at episode 3, Vita Reflux. Now, I've made a slight change to how things have been done here. The videos were going on far too long. The last video got about 15% of the views of the previous one. I can't keep making massive videos. It just takes too long and it hurts my brain. And I want to talk about good stuff. And I've seen good stuff recently. So here's the deal. We're going to be doing the same thing. The Enterprise is going to continue to take damage. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a supercut of all the cringe, all the crap, all the non-Star Trekness that happens and all the non-secateurs that happen in the writing and chuck them all to you in one blast. You're going to see all the crap. You're going to see all the cringe bollocks that passes for Star Trek these days. This will last a total of 4 minutes. And then after that, I'll give you a roundup on my thoughts of the episode, the acting, any plot lines, and any other egregious issues. I won't be going scene by scene, but I will tell you everything that happens. So, I'll see you in about 4 minutes.
Starfleet Academy, report for cardio and sprint. War College, you have weight.
In the air, buns of steel, cadets.
Starfleet maggots! I want to see that you want to be here!
Flash, underwhelmed.
Dude, what was that? You were the best in the War College and smoked you.
Sign up here!
Ow!
Do you find it challenging to be a War College douchebag?
Know your best.
Here.
Properly channeled.
Large Klingon friend will smack the eyebrows off your freaking face.
Ah, damn. My scar. It's painful.
Enjoy yourselves.
This is a PR dumpster fire.
Commander!
I'm pro kid shit. Your way to the other side of the field and shoot a target guarded by the opposing team's mascot. You all know Coach Reno? Professor! I thought you taught some pro mechanics. You all know Coach Reno? Professor! I thought you taught some pro mechanics. If you are hit,
Heart of tar when your blood shows well. Don't I know you?
Nope.
Yeah, I do.
But anything before the word bud is bullshit.
No. You didn't even tell me.
Starfleet 2.
where am I?
Heated to 86.4 degrees Celsius.
Cheers.
The A word.
What?
Empathy.
I expected you to not use my family shit against me.
Whip it up, bro! Whip it up!
Game 1 begins in...
Stay back and give me cover fire. And don't let them anywhere near Arkham.
Go, cover Occam.
Okay. Permeable fitness!
Little friend, I'm all up in you, baby! Holy shit!
Why are none of you crying?
I'll cry.
Quiet! See your chancellor.
Are your pajamas covered in little accordions?
They are tiny warp cores. You want to say something cute about it? Huh? Do ya? You want to end this war once and for all? Show some growth. Growth! Is anybody listening? Out!
I'm sorry, kitten. My bad.
Are you not respecting dinner? Dinner is important.
We'll go on.
It's go time.
Oh, I almost forgot to mention, I juiced.
We are going to rip those weeds out and shove them so far down your throat you're gonna shit crawfish. And Grace! I knew you were doing your job.
I should have trusted it.
It's perfect. Check this guy out.
Okay, so assuming that you've managed to stay with me, you'll see that the Enterprise once again lost all her shields. And she took whole damage, although she wasn't destroyed like last week. Nonetheless, I think this is the worst episode we've actually had as far as characters, plot structure, and everything like that goes. I could have been less forgiving in my moments. I'm sure I missed a couple of points there, so we can just assume that, like all the other episodes, this just kills Star Trek dead. Let's go through the plot, shall we? We start off with Derham, and Derham is messaging his parents, saying how hard he's trying, that he's getting up super early, that he's applying himself, that he's basically trying to be an officer and a son that they would be proud of. He gets up, goes outside. Of course, Genesis is already there. She gets up 2 or 3 hours before him, depending on how she's feeling. I didn't mind the scene. It starts with a little bit of character development. We're like, okay, we get this guy who's trying, the one who wants to impress. We go from there to a gym scene where we get, oh joy of joys, Lara Fock. Do you know, she just can't act. She's terrible. She's awful. Everybody's going, oh, this is the best character ever. She's so sassy. You just like her because she's lesbian. You just like her because she's a lesbian feminist comedian. That's it. That she cannot act. She is awful. I look at any Jem'Hadar before her. I look at any Klingon before her, and they blow her out of the water. How this is meant to be 1,000 years in the future, I just do not know. She is terrible. Anyway, we have the cadets doing cardio and sprinting. Of course, the chunkier cadets are just passing a medicine ball about. I guess they get an exemption note. As this all goes on, we see that we've got the War College exercising on one part of the gym and the Academy exercising on the other, and they have a contest. How do they have a contest? They climb a rope, of course. Just a normal rope. 1,000 years in the future. Just climb a rope. Because this is a low-budget show for all everything that's gone into it. This is literally just done in a gymnasium. There's no set dressing. Awful. Of course, Caleb wins because he's Caleb. And then we move on to the next part of it where they square off against each other. Somebody throws a ball at Caleb and the two teams square off against each other. Occam says, oh, the Klingon's going to knock you out. And the Klingon's like, no. I'm a pussy. I don't do violence. And there's just a load of teenage crap between the pair of them while some obnoxious music plays. And then Fock just comes along and breaks them up. That's the gym scene all done. Next, we're in showers and they're talking, and Derham has got a story about how he got a scar, and we see that Sam's there in shower wear, like a leotard thing, of course, because holograms shower, I guess. Anyway, they all get transported out of there and to various places. One of the students gets transported to like a pair of stairs and falls down that painfully. Caleb gets transported into a class naked. Sam gets teleported into water and bubbles come out of her mouth because apparently holograms breathe now. The War College come up on the screen and say, we did this because we could do it because it's fun. And apparently it's the start of a prank war or something. I don't know. Laura Fock goes to the Chancellor, Ake, and says about a prank war. Ake is just lounging about, and for some reason her feet are just constantly in the fore of the frame. Quentin Tarantino is meant to do Star Trek. I'm wondering if he's gone by a Sweden name for doing this episode, because seriously, foot fetish, big time. Laura Fock and Chancellor are speaking to each other, and then the Chancellor gets involved and goes to the kids and shows them a plant that sort of copies and mimics the emotions of those around them. It's a bit cringe. We see Sam the hologram licking some blue crystal. And like, you got this crap music going on. And while this is going on, there's this rivalry between Genesis and Derham as to who's become captain of the Calico, I think it's called, team, which is basically kind of like Quasar or laser tag or whatever. You're just running around shooting, trying to get your opponent, and you have to hit targets and all that kind of thing. So they go to this arena, I suppose. I mean, it would be a holodeck normally, but I can't tell. They've got drones that are real. There doesn't seem to be, the only holograms here seem to be Sam. They don't seem to have a holodeck 1,000 years in the future. They're running around and they're meant to be ringing bells. Yeah, actual bells that are hanging down with rope. 1,000 years in the future. 1,000 years in the future. And they're just ringing these bells. Anyway, the drones are flying about and, shooting. They're meant to get the bells. And Derham and Genesis are so preoccupied with getting these bells that they leave the rest of the team behind, and the rest of the team get, butchered. Now, you would think in a proper episode of Star Trek, this would be brought up. You let your teammates down. You're meant to be captains. You're meant to lead. That means you lead the team. No, never mentioned. Instead, we cut to another comedy scene You've got the teams all lined up, and Laura Fox explaining that, in proper Calico, the phasers only have one mode, which is transport. She shoots Caleb and he goes flying back a couple of feet. And Junior Yoshida does more awful acting. So we're like, ha ha ha, very funny. She's like, okay, yeah, you're going to go out there, you're going to fight, and those who get to the best are going to sort of get to the top of the crop. So a bit of competitiveness at last. We then go to another scene, and it's back on the battlefield. So I think it's like one of those weird cuts that they do. Durham is running up behind Sam, and Sam gets shot, and the shot goes through Sam and hits Durham, so he's out, even though he thought he was in cover. So you've got that rivalry going on between Genesis and Durham, and a bit of back talking. It's not too bad. We then go to Caleb and Jaden, or after the mock battle or whatever, and we can just see that it's just a school somewhere, or like a gym at a leisure centre somewhere that they filmed this. There is nothing, no set redressing. He sees Tamira below him playing basketball, and it's just nets. It's just basketball. Like the ball's a bit different, and that's it. So he's like, "Oh, I need you to delay the war college so that I can speak to Tamira." And Jaden goes up and makes these awful, cringy jokes. It's just terrible. While Caleb and Tamira desperately try and pretend that they've got some chemistry and character interaction between them, and it's not great. So we go past that, back to the pre-scene, and we see that basically out of everybody who was judged, surprise, surprise, Durham and Genesis are tied for most points. So there's a kind of a knockout, whoever can hit the targets first, and they're running about and hitting the targets simultaneously, like the very second, it's like tie. And then Durham says something about Genesis's daddy issues because her dad was an admiral, and she's, shocked for a second, and he wins. So yeah, he wins it. So he's the captain, and he's loving it. He's parading around. Yeah, I'm captain, great. And then while they're parading around, the War College put like a mock advert for the academy up. She's showing them flailing around and screaming and all that kind of stuff. They square off again, and Darren basically says, right, okay, we're going to have an after hours fight, just you against us, to prove who's top dogs. While all this is going on, Ake goes to visit the Chancellor of the War College. She acts like a complete cunt, basically. She's wandering around. This is the first time she's ever been there, because she's like, oh, your security is very advanced. And she's wandering around going, touching things and touching that and touching this and opening up cupboards and lounging all over the sofa and insulting him at every opportunity. And she's just kind of a horrible character, really. So that's that scene out of the way. We get a bit of exposition about how he feels, discipline, how she feels. We then go to a scene where the academy, and Derham's loving being captain and trying to organise his team and hype up his team and everything, including getting Genesis on board and all that kind of stuff. And Genesis just goes, nah, fuck you, and wanders off. They start playing the game, and they've kind of rigged it so that people can't get into the atrium or something. And Genesis turns up. Earlier, they were talking about, they've got mascots, apparently, because 1,000 years in the future, why wouldn't you just have it exactly the same as you do now? And even though the Betazoid dude kid isn't good enough to be on the team, he's the mascot, which is a lapwing. Okay. And the other team's a Mugato. So you remember the thing from that episode of... It showed up recently in Lower Decks, but it was also in the original series. So yeah, they've got their mascots. When you get close to the mascot, there'll be a target. You hit that, and you win the game if you get first to four, kind of, or best out of four. And who plays that best out of four? You can get a tie, 2-2. So stupid. And they're going for the plan, and then Darren's basically like, look, the plan is me. I'm a fence. I'm going to run up there. You cover me, and that's the plan. And you defend the mascot. And he's like getting a team together and everything. And then he's like, cover me, and nobody covers him, and he gets shot. And they lose 3 games in a row, basically humiliating Darren because he's just apparently not that great a leader. And there's all sorts of smack to him, and the music is just atrocious. It's horrible. Anyway, you've got all this going on, and oh, for God, Sam's trying to roll about, and it literally looks like a beast. Well, she's not that fat, but I mean, honestly. So yeah, it's just terrible, and they're losing really badly. And then what happens is Darren gets put out early in the 4th round, and Genesis is like, no, don't listen to him. He's crap. Listen to me. We need a new strategy. And what she does is she shoots these replicators on the side of the hall. And even though these phasers have been told that they're just transportation, they don't do anything else, apparently shooting these replicators makes smoke come out of them. So they get a smoke screen. Okay. So they can't see anything. Caleb's picking them off from above. And then the mascot comes out, and they're all shooting the mascot. Like, oh, what's the mascot doing going forward? And they're shooting the mascot, and it's Sam. It's Sam. She's turned herself into the mascot as a decoy. So they get up there and they get a point, basically. Sam can't be shot. Why isn't Sam just walking up to the mascot every single time and just shooting it? She can't be shot. It's been demonstrated. So yeah, that's what happens. Don't get sad and hands the captainship over to Genesis, has a sulk and walks off. So he's been humiliated, of course. Genesis is the bestest. That's that. Fock finds them all and they get sent to the Chancellor, and Ake is just acting like a complete moron. She's screaming, she's shouting. And we can see what she's trying to do. She's trying to like give them not so subtle hints about what they're supposed to do for a prank. And they finally work it out and go off. We're going to hatch a plan, basically, to get them back once and for all. They'll never dare prank us again. It's pretty cringy, but okay, we're getting there now. And I have to point out that all these episodes are over an hour long. This isn't like old Star Trek where they get the story out of the way in 45 minutes because they needed adverts. No, these are all an hour long. They're torture. Anyway, we're now going to come up to what I consider to be the only good scene in this episode. Derham goes up to see Reno, worried that his pad's not working. He's like, look, I don't get any messages from my parents. I don't get anything. Can you check this pad? Now, apart from the fact that the pad looks worse than the ones from the Next Generation, this is meant to be 1,000 years in the future. It's pathetic. Anyway, Jet Reno basically says, look, the pad's fine. And he's like, oh, it must be at their end then. And she's like, look, any message you have to chase isn't from somebody worth worrying about.
Look, kid, any message that you have to chase down does not deserve to be read by you.
And I was like, holy shit, there's a moment there. And Derham's like, you can see that his pride's hurt and he's really hurt that his family don't want anything to do with him. He was saying, and when he was trying to explain why he was so competitive and why he has to win, he was saying he played an instrument and he got a note wrong during the recital and his parents didn't even state it in the recital. And I'm like, holy shit, character development. But this is all cut short because basically what happens is Laura Fox turns up and it turns out that they're a couple and she does some more awful acting. Jet Reno calls her a kitten. Laura Fox like, you do not respect dinner. And her delivery is so bad. She's just there because she's a lesbian comedian. That's it. And black. I swear that's it. So it's the only reason she got the role. She makes Jet Reno look great in comparison. And I mean it. Like, I can't believe the moments I'm liking out of this are coming from Jet Reno, of all people. Tig Notaro. That's how bad Gina Yoshida is. So anyway, we had that little bit of character moment, and that's gone. We then go to Derham going back, and he gives that story about how he used to play the instrument and why he is. And he's basically like, look, you lead Genesis, and I'll follow. So it's like, okay, cool. He's in his right place now. And their plan is basically to infiltrate the War College. They've made a Magato costume, which Caleb wears to infiltrate. They get his DNA by Derham giving him this really awkward hug and saying it's part of an apology and a cultural moment and cloning him and stuff. So they can clone his eyeball and get into his room. And it's all done in this kind of Ocean's 11 kind of hip cuts. And they're going to get Sam to teleport into the college and spray that plant and growth accelerant in there to prank them. And she's teleporting about at the speed of light because I need to get in there and out in a minute. I'm like, what was all that rolling about earlier then, huh? And then Caleb is on his way out and he gets busted by Tamira and they have a moment and she kisses him while activating the alarm. And there could be an interesting character dynamic there, but I just don't care about either of them, basically. And none of them are awful actors. It's just kind of what they're given to work with. So they're all running out of the academy, and then the next day, the War College wake up, and these giant plants are going all over the place, and because they replicate how people are feeling, they're screaming, and it's all, very, very funny. And then the War Sassy Romulan comes out and swears vengeance that she's going to, tear their heads off or something, and then the Chancellor comes out, the War Chancellor comes out, no, we've been beaten, all over. We can't touch these plants, they're protected. The inspection team are about to arrive. You win, okay, with your scruffy hair and your bare feet. Ugh. Chancellor's been beaten. White Man's put back in his place behind Genesis. And you get this weird scene between Ake and Caleb where she just explains everything and the plan and all that kind of stuff. And you get some stuff between them and it's just awful. And then you get a scene between Fock and Ake, and Ake's got her bare feet up on the desk, and it's like right in the foreground. It's such weird choices. and they're talking, and it's so. Oh no, the end of the episode ends with them getting their varsity jackets. So again, 1,000 years in the future, a varsity jacket. This is crazy. It's 1,000 years in the future. Starfleet is meant to represent not the entire planet, but entire systems and races, and everything is American. Everything is Americanized. There is no other country even considered in design choices, uniform choices, or anything. It's just American. It's just American 90s, 2000, 2010s, whatever, contemporary American academic style bundled into 1,000 years into the future. Anyway, they're doing stuff with the jackets, and he gives one to Caleb. She says, "Oh, it looks good on you." And Sam's wearing a fucking jacket. She's put a jacket on. She picks it up and puts it on. How does a hologram wear a fucking jacket? And I mentioned this on Facebook because there's been a massive shill offensive on social media in general, with loads of bot accounts saying, "Oh, Starfleet Academy is so great, it's brilliant. Oh, yeah, it's so good." Like, the Emperor's got no clothes. We can see this shit. And a few of my friends think it's great, and they're just, like I say, they're left-leaning friends. And I've got a video coming out about this very, very soon. Might be the next video I do, actually, before I do the video about stuff I've been watching. I really like explaining why people like shit like this. Anyway, that's the end of the episode. It's awful. It's full of modern dialogue. It's full of profanity and dude bros and all this kind of crap. And any real character moments, any moments that even slightly resemble Star Trek, are buried under a mountain of modern day Marvel humour, awful acting from Gene Shear, and just anti-Trek. There's so much. It's like digging for a nugget of gold in an ocean of shit. There are moments there where I'm like, that's almost Star Trek, that's almost character development, that's almost a sensibility that Gene Roddenberry would have espoused. Or one of the later creators. I bet Rick Berman. More, any of them would have espoused when it comes to Star Trek about learning about this. It's all buried. It's all buried under this horrible heap of a show. It's terrible. I had to pause this halfway through because I couldn't carry on watching. I had to pause it, go away, leave it for a good few hours before I could go back to it and tackle the second half. And some of the stuff with Ake and the plan she had and all that, the dialogue between Jet Reno and Derham, as I say, Derham's story, it's all fairly compelling. And I guess that what's going to happen going forward, we're going to get a story focusing on each of the cadets. That's what I'm thinking we're going to get. But it's so sloppy. It's so badly written. It's so badly scripted. There's no dressing. There's no attempt to make it seem like it's 1,000 years in the future. It's the worst. It's like the Wolf 359 of Star Treks. It's one of the problems is this, and this is actually the ultimate problem with Starfleet Academy. It's written by, in part, by Tawny Newsom, and she's obviously Lower Decks. So this has got an awful lot of the kind of comedy that was in Lower Decks. The thing is, I never considered Lower Decks to be real Star Trek. I consider it to be a spoof. For me, Lower Decks is basically like a holodeck program. Like something pissing about. Parody, a spoof of Star Trek. And for that reason, I let it go. And the fact that it's got some half-decent character writing in it as time goes on. I've still not seen the final season, but Lower Decks was by no means the worst thing that came out of New Trek. In fact, I mean, what was good? Picard season 3 was just nostalgia. The writing was awful. So yeah, Lower Decks works as an animated spoof, but this is live action. This is meant to be real. So when you put that kind of parody level comedy and self-referential humour in it, it just falls apart. And that's all Starfleet Academy is. It's just that writ large. Tawny Newsom, worst thing to happen, probably, in all honesty. Because apparently they're also developing a Star Trek comedy show. I hope that never gets made. It was never meant to be. Star Trek was never meant to be this weird Gen Z kind of school experiment. When I was 8 years old, I was watching Star Trek Next Generation. Anything I didn't understand, my dad explained to me. I learnt things. You can't learn anything from watching this, apart from how not to put a TV show together. And I wouldn't let kids watch this. They're swearing all the way through it. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Do not watch Starfleet Academy. I'm glad I've managed to make this a little bit shorter. That's it. I will probably still come back for season 4, but honestly, the way that my views have dropped off shows me that nobody cares about this show. Nobody cares about this piece of shit. So I expect it to be as irrelevant going on, and I suspect that the only reason that we're going to get season 2 is because they filmed the 2 back to back. And if I was Paramount, I would cancel season 2. I wouldn't even bother putting whatever work is required, whatever post-production, whatever editing, whatever is required into it. I wouldn't bother. I would just shelve it, because this is a tragedy. This is the Wolf 359 of Star Trek. This is the worst TV series. It's still somehow slightly better than Section 31. And please let me know what you thought of the video. Try something a little bit different. Please leave your comments and your thoughts, even if they're constructive feedback. I can always look to be better. And if you really like what I do, I'm terrible at YouTube. I don't do this often, but like, share, sub. Any numbers help. And you keep watching. I'll keep making them. I have been Chris Cow. I'll be back with another video soon.